What is going on YouTube? I hope you're all doing great. This video we're going to talk about fasting and specifically intermittent fasting and the very question that how long at a minimum that you should fast to get the maximum out of your intermittent fasting. So stick to the end of the video. When it comes to intermittent fasting, there are numerous benefits. I'm just listing a few down, like blood glucose control, weight loss, and insulin sensitivity. All these things get a positive effect when you do intermittent fasting. But the very question kind of lingers around everyone's mind that how long you should actually intermittent fast, because there are different types. I did a video on that as well, where I talked about the different types of intermittent fasting you can do. There are like 16 to 8 hours intermittent fasting. There is this 20 to 4 hour intermittent fasting, so many different ones. But which one should you do? Or rather, I should say, how long at a minimum you should fast to get the best benefits out of this. If you're doing intermittent fasting or any sort of fasting, these are the factors that the body goes through a massive change of. So if I just wrote the initials of these, this is blood glucose, this is insulin, glucagon, and free fatty acid. When these things change, your metabolism kind of topsy-turvy all the way and becomes completely different, and you start doing different things. So we're going to see what exactly happens, levels of these things in your body when you keep on doing fasting. Start with blood glucose. Right after you've taken some food, your blood glucose spikes, and then slowly it starts coming down, just as well the changes in your insulin that we're going to draw next. But at this magic point, it kind of baselines. That means it kind of becomes close to zero in your bloodstream. Comes insulin, and it's quite natural that if your blood glucose goes down and your insulin also is going to go down, not in the same rate, but it does go down. And it also spikes when you eat something which has a lot of carb or simple sugar or something like that, because that spikes as well. Is glucagon. So if you talk about insulin as something that you don't really need when you're losing fat, glucagon is bang opposite. You need a ton of this thing if you want to lose a lot of fat from your body. So what happens when you have those carbs and simple sugar, stuff like that, your glucagon level kind of stays below its actual level or baseline. And then after a certain magic point, it starts picking. And at this point, exactly where your insulin went down and kind of flatlined, this thing goes really high, spikes and stays there. At the same time, your blood glucose kind of flatlines and becomes baseline. Perhaps the most interesting one, FFA, means free fatty acid. That means your body starts mobilizing fat at a particular point of time. So when you have a lot of carb in your system, your body has the fuel it needs to do its daily stuff, or do whatever work you want to do. And even if you want to do gym or whatever it is, you want to do some work, the calorie comes from your food, and specifically your carbohydrate or simple sugars. And that's why the free fatty acid kind of levels up. It doesn't do anything. It only starts triggering when your blood glucose falls down and becomes baseline at the same magic point, and it kind of peaks close to the glucagon level. Or I mean, these are not to be scaled, or they are not comparable units, but it also spikes really high. That means at this point, if you do fasting until this point, you're burning fat. You're on fat fuel. You're not on carb or sugar fuel, and that's really important if you wish to lose a ton of fat, either from your dietary fat or from your body. So this is the magic point moment when a lot of things kind of comes up and down. You see a lot of things, the hormones goes up and down. You'll feel different also. You kind of start feeling light, a lot more energetic, and you'll feel that you've got more sustainable energy rather than just a jolt or burst of energy. So the point, of course, is the million-dollar question is, what is this magic number? I won't be keeping any surprise. This, you probably have already guessed, is 12 hours. Which that means is, if you have completed your food here, it has to be 12 hours when you don't have anything that triggers insulin spike or insulin secretion in your blood. That means you don't eat. That means you basically fast for 12 hours. So doing minimum 12 hours of fasting, you're going to do all these things to your body. Now this could be 30 minutes less for somebody, 30 minutes plus for somebody, but not a bunch of different in time, okay? But if you do only 12 hours, are you going to get too much of benefit? I don't think so, because if you don't do much of a workout in here, then it's about 12 hours. So you start burning fat and then you start eating. That means you negate all the effects that just started to happen. So You should fast, and if you are someone who's starting to fast, then you don't have to go there, but you're kind of intermediate, you're moderate, you're gonna fast at least for 16 hours. That's minimum, because you're giving your body about 4 hours to burn fat or run on fat fuel. Now, if you're seasoned in fasting, then you can take it to 8 hours, you can take it to 10 hours, and if you're doing it for a long time, it's not a problem for you like I do. There's a version of intermittent fasting called 1 meal a day. It's something I do. I eat only once a day. There is just a 1 hour window within which I eat. That means 23 hours are left for me to not eat. Out of that, 12 hours go in the fasting period. The rest is there for me to burn fat. That's the maximum you can do. If you do more than that, of course you can do, but that's called prolonged fasting. That's not really intermittent fasting anymore. That's prolonged fasting that has fantastic benefits, but that's probably something we're going to talk sometime later in another video. For this one, remember, your effects of fasting or intermittent fasting starts somewhere around 12 hours. So it's always important to know that if you're not doing much of a workout, you're doing everything that you used to do when you were not intermittent fasting, it's ideal to fast at least 14, 16, 20 hours if you want to get some benefit out of intermittent fasting. I hope this video is useful. Don't leave right now. I got something to tell you. Check this out. This one came over from Amazon. Of course, I placed an order. Can you guess the shape of this thing? This looks like a tub to me, right? So this one's up for coming Monday's giveaway. Watch the video for coming Monday. It's going to be on a similar topic to this supplement. Yes, it's a supplement. I'm not opening it up now. I'm going to open it on Monday and tell you what it is, but this one's up for next Monday's giveaway. Watch the videos, and thanks a lot for supporting me. Keep supporting me. Your support is something that keeps me going. Have an awesome life, folks. Ciao.